All right, gents, I want to talk about how to set up the AR rifle. You go to SHOT Show, there are thousands of little mom and pop companies that are all turning out AR rifles and every make, model, this, that, and the other. And I see so many people, they look at them and they want the receiver that's engraved with this cool symbol on it, or they want it wrapped in multicam. Forget about all the pretty stuff, all the gee whiz little gadgets. When you go to purchase that AR rifle, the number one thing that you should be worried about is it a reliable system? If I purchase this weapon system, is it going to function reliably? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you can drive a quarter of a minute at angle shot group. The moment of truth, you need a gun that will go bang every time you pull the trigger. So go to a reliable company that puts out reliable products, got a great track record, all right? And then you know you're golden. It's going to be a reliable system. After that, the next thing I want you to look at is I want you to look at the barrel. You want an accurate barrel. You just don't want some cheap little pencil barrel that's not going to be able to take a lot of rounds going through it. Spend a little extra money, get yourself a good accurized barrel. That's it. All right, now once you get that gun, you're going to want to size your stock. Now, all these weapons, they have adjustable stocks on. The whole reason for adding the adjustable stock to the AR system wasn't for making it shorter so that you could do CQB with it. It was so you could shorten it for storage. Yes, it makes it a little easier for getting in and out of vehicles, right? But for the most part, for accurate shooting, you size the stock to the crook in your elbow, all right? I've got a 6-foot frame, that's where I need my stock to be. All right? If I'm running a stock that's too short, I'm pulling it in too close. If I'm running a stock that's too long, I can't properly get my body on. So just a rule of thumb, it's a little different for different people depending on your body makeup, but for the most part, size your stock to the crook in your arm. All right, that's where you want to size that thing. All right, now next thing we're going to look at is iron sights. All right, most people call them backup iron sights because you're going to run an optic on it. All right, so if they're backup, Carl, why am I mentioning iron sights before optics if I call them backup iron sights? And here's why. I'm mentioning iron sights first because I believe iron sights are more important than your optics are. Optics batteries go out, optics glass break. Iron sights, you spend good money on them, you want to get good reliable ones that are micro adjustable, so you're not just using them to knock down that 5-meter plate in a 3-gun match, you're actually using them so that you can still engage with the weapon at the same max effective range that you can with your optics. All right, a couple different brands, you want them to be adjustable. All right, some of them sit on top of the guns, such as these on this LaRue upper. All right, get the backup sights. All right, this one, if my battery goes out on this particular EOTech, I can still look straight through and I can still use those iron sights. All right. On this one here, you'll notice from the front that they are offset at a 45-degree angle. The thought process of this is when I'm looking through my optic, if my optic goes down, glass breaks, battery turns off, all I gotta do is cant the gun, and right now I'm looking straight through my iron sights, right? Real big with the 3-gun circuit because they can run a higher magnification main glass for those longer targets, and then close in, they can run by and they can use their iron sights. That's fine and dandy. They'll go with a lot of small iron sights. Spend a little extra money, get some good backup iron sights that will give you the same effective range as you have with the optics. All right, now we've talked about iron sights, we want to talk about optics. If all you're ever going to do is shoot close range inside your house, short distance, and all terrain's different, I don't know where you live, red dot sights, you can't beat them. I'm not going to recommend a particular brand. Some branches of the military prefer aim points over others. Green Berets, for the most part, we run EOTechs. Right? Get a good one from same thing, you get a reliable sight. Spend your money wisely. All right, just because you can get the cheap knockoff from China that would maybe function on an airsoft rifle is not going to handle the beating that your AR rifle should be able to take. All right, red dot sights are awesome. They have very little parallax. So basically, no matter where you line that head up behind the gun, so long as you can see that red dot, that's where that bullet's gonna go. All right, great, that's 0 magnification. Now, the other option is if you also need more magnification, all right, you can get a variable power scope. All right, this one right here, this particular scope it's one made by Horse Vision, and this is a 1:7 scope. All right, you can see I can quickly change magnification on it from 1 power to 7. Now, you notice I didn't mention 3 to 9 power scopes. No, I said 1 to 5, 1 to 7. The reason for that is on your AR, you want to be able to dial it down to a true 1 magnification. So it's basically, when I put this on 1 power, it's the same as this red dot sight, right? You need that for doing close quarters battle, in and around your house, close in targets. We need to dial this down. Now, the advantage of this scope, while it has a lot more parallax, is once I'm in behind it, 90 seconds after the assault has started, all the bad guys are down in the target, and now we start doing sensitive site exploitation. All the rest of the bad guys are outside the target, often at distances 200 to 300, sometimes 400 meters away. Guys up pulling security can now dial all the way over to 7 power, and now they have the magnification that they can now identify friend or foe from a distance. And additionally, this scope, it's made by Horse Vision. It has a horse reticle in it, so I know my holdovers, so I can engage out at that extended range. All right, so let's say you are running a red dot scope that is 0 magnification, but on occasion you need to have that extra magnification. Instead of going out and buying another scope, what you can buy is a 3x magnifier, has a rail system on the bottom, put it on the scope, lock it down, and now, well, you have it out of the way. I can still use that red dot sight for close-in targets. And when I need the extended range, all I do is I pull it over. Because it's behind that objective lens, it does not change the 0 of my weapon at all. Weapon stays 0'd. When I'm done needing it, it rotates out of the way. Some of them have easy off, some of them just rotate to the side. Varies by brand, but again, it'll add a good additional capability to your weapon. Next thing for me, if I'm using this gun at home, other than to compete with, next thing important to me would be visible light source, right? Just a weapon light, and there are 100 different brands out there. Again, go with a reputable brand that is gonna provide you a durable light. This particular one's made by Surefire, very, very bright. And the push pad is on the opposite side of the gun. I fire it right-handed, that's where my thumb mates. Some guys will mount it at a 45 and they'll use their thumb on the back push button. That's fine, I don't care what kind of light you use, so long as you set it up properly and you practice with it. All right, gents, other than that, the only other additional equipment that you need, it really depends on your mission. If your mission requires that you may have to transition from that rifle to a pistol. Shy of you throwing the gun on the ground, you're gonna need to have a sling on that weapon. Look at doing slings. I see all the guys adding lasers, IR illuminators, silencers. All that stuff is fine if it's required for your missions. Lasers come in very, very handy sometimes. IR illuminators come in very, very handy if you're running night vision goggles on your helmet. If you're not running a night vision, why would you need an IR illuminator on your rifle? All you're doing is adding extra weight, and that's gonna slow you down in the gunfight. Don't just put it on there because it looks sexy. There are applications for silencers. If you have that mission requirement, by all means, put silencers on there. But what I hate to see is guys adding the G-Money grips and bayonets and bipods and all this other gee-whiz gadgets that they're finding at all the gun shows. All they're doing is adding weight to their weapon. All right, so keep it simple, keep it accurate, and above all, keep it reliable.